And finally, Norm Macdonald has co-founded a video dating app called Loco. When asked if he himself uses the dating app, Norm told Page Six, "God, no, I'm an old man. I'm just an old chunk of coal. I don't even know how to use my phone. I never used an app. My friend who uses dating apps always tells me that they are very gross."
I've changed my opinion on Norm Macdonald over the years. I was wrong about him too. Him and Kirk Cousins.
Big day for Minneapolis. I mean, this is the only day you've admitted to being wrong twice. Not only twice, ever.
First day in history, but I was wrong about Norm Macdonald. I once thought he wasn't funny, but he's legitimately funny. David Spade has a new movie out, Warning Shot. It's going to be in select theaters and video on demand this Friday. You could also download his audiobook, A Polaroid Guy in a Snapchat World. Now, oh no, is David Spade feeling old? He's feeling old. A Polaroid guy in a Snapchat world. Oh no, you're not old. You're a notorious ladies' man at the height of fame. No, you're feeling old.
It's not cute anymore. I'm trying. I'm turning into Norm Macdonald. Norm Macdonald looks like my dad. I saw him about 3 nights ago.
You're not boyish anymore? You're not still boyish?
No, the only thing I have going for me is people think I'm Bieber sometimes, but then they get within 100 yards and go, "Oh, whoa, no."
Wait a minute. Don't you also get mistaken for Beck?
I get back a lot. I get Brad Pitt infrequently, and I get anybody that's sort of a punk.
Have you ever played it off like you are actually Beck?
Oh, come on. Why would he? Well, that's actually
Why
funny.
not?
That's funny. It might be fun.
Because I wouldn't know what to talk about. I would run out quickly
Okay.
when they ask, and then I would just somehow talk about bench warmers.
David, can you tell us? We were just talking about Norm Macdonald when you came over here, and we were talking about
Yeah,
how
I just saw.
I was wrong about him, though. I used to think he wasn't funny, and the joke's on me because it seems like all comedians find him to be a comedian's comedian, and he is funny. He's unbearably funny.
Yeah, he's got a new Netflix talk show. I actually just did it, but I posted a trailer for it because he's got a lot of good people, and he talks to you forever. And he's still a total weirdo, but that's why we like him because he's a guy that I'll text, or he'll text me and go, "David, you want to go out tonight? David, you want to go to dinner?" And then I go, "Yeah, for sure." Then 4 days later, he goes, 4 a.m, "Where are you?" I go, first of all, you never answered. You never showed up. And then you act like I'm bothering you. I go, I don't like it anymore.
He is.
So he's done that since day one. He's bananas.
How is he the weirdest cast member you ever worked with?
Yeah, I mean that I was day to day with, like when we did a stand-up tour with Sandler and Schneider and Nick Swardson and Norm. We would all make fun of each other, obviously. And then when Norm would get off stage, Schneider was the MC. And if he bombed ever, because sometimes they either really buy into him or they don't. And he goes, "Hey, Seattle, you never know which Norm Macdonald you're going to get, and tonight you got that one."
I'm in the group though? Comedians who are friends. Like, is there one guy in the group or woman in the group that all of you say, "Yeah, this one, he's funnier than us. He makes us laugh more than the others do"?
Well, there's fun. There's funny in person and there's funny on stage, and usually it overlaps pretty well. But there's some where, when comedians get together in this new PC world where comedy is getting like drained down to about 7 jokes that you can pass around that are acceptable. When you're together, they will say any joke that's the roughest joke. So that's the fun of being a comic with other comics, is that when you're inside that world, you get jokes about tragedies not a week later, but like 15 minutes later. Nobody cares about anything, and then they slowly bring them on stage, and then that might be a bit early, but the fact that when you're in the mix, it's so brutal and so harsh between each other. That's really the fun of it.
That's soul-crushing to hear from you on a couple of fronts, though. One, because you sound old, saying PC world right now, but you're right. Yeah. You're right. What you're saying is right, and then I mean that's funny.
Well, I've seen some stand-up specials now that are just social commentary. There's just no jokes. You're like, what happened? I am old. I tell jokes, but I've got it used to be just be as funny as you can for that long. But now it's sort of turning slowly into more soapboxy and a little politics, a little this, a little this.
That's interesting.
Which is okay. That's the world, but I have to make the switch, and that's harder for me. I really don't get political. I really try to keep it. I barely have any fans. I don't want to lose half overnight. You know what I mean?
Well, it's interesting you say that because Kimmel's been rewarded for going politics. Colbert's been rewarded for going politics. Why, David Spade, can't it be that comedy is a safe space where you crack on stage the same way, the stuff you're talking about here, that the best comedy is done immediate, the most inappropriate comedy is the best comedy. Why can't you be doing that? Why can't that envelope be pushed in comedy? It's the only place to push it.
It should be. I mean, I don't care what anyone says. If it's on stage, I do not care. They can offend, they can do this, but that was the beauty of it. And now, and I love Kimmel and I like these guys, it's not for me. And also, if you just say Trump's a moron at a comedy club, you get applause, and it gets too easy. I would love to do race jokes. And, most black comics do race jokes. Barely any white ones do. I think it would be I would love for everyone to make fun of everything like the old days, but you just can't. So I understand that. And when I go on, if you go on Instagram, it's like, here's what dumb white people do. Here's dumb white girls at a brunch. I'm like, is this the only thing left we're making fun of? That's the only safe one. You can't just do any type of joke about anybody. So it's very tricky. So I try to navigate it on stage, not to get too heavy on you, obviously. But it's a new world, and every year it gets a little trickier. And I want to see the Bill Burrs. I want to see the guys that don't care as much and just say whatever they want to say.
I really want to have a longer conversation with you, David. But
I know. I'm sorry. We sort of stumbled into that, but it's okay. Anyway, fantasy football, Le'Veon Bell.
No.
That's the conversation I want to
New
have with
movie
you.
warning shot, select theaters and video on demand this Friday, and a Polaroid guy in a Snapchat world. Well, we will continue the conversation if you're willing, but go ahead and tell us about these two projects you're working on.
Warning Shot is a drama, R-rated drama, which I never do, and believe me, no one was asking, but I did it. And
you're a bad guy. Like bad guy.
Yeah, it's my peppermint. No, it's I am sort of a bad guy in it, and I do have a gun. I'm not full Jennifer Garner, but I do have a gun, and I loved it. We did it low budget in Texas, and I saw it the other night at the premiere. And I think it's cool. It's just a little different for me, and if people see it, why not? It's on video on demand. It's in some theaters. But I had a great time. I mean, I've been doing the same move for about 22 years, so I shook it up 8%. But I'm running right back to my regular move. Do not worry.
Okay. David, we appreciate it. Before we get you out of here, though, we were talking last week about the death of Burt Reynolds and whether the Jeopardy skit is the all-timer.
Oh, I did hear you guys talking about that. That's one of the best. Rolling Stone did a top 50 skits of all time, sketches, and I'm sure that was on there.
But give me yours. You can only pick one for all time to represent Saturday Night Live. You could choose one of your own if you want, but one for all time. What would you choose?
Well, I'm biased, so I would take something from my era. I would take maybe Chippendales or Motivational Speaker.
Yeah, I mean, Farley's Body. There's not going to be anything funnier than Farley's Body.
Yeah.
Right?
But then when I was there with Farley and Sandler, we were loving, anything with Dan Aykroyd, anything with Eddie Murphy, Belushi. So, there's so many. It's so objective, but there's some really, really home run hits out there with the old sketches.
David, thank you for being on with